On the spot news media, we got the latest news. We don't care about the views, we just representing right. Put local news internationally every night. On the spot, wave that Jamaican flag from left to right. Let's get it right, y'all know the type. We ain't dealing with the hype, we make it take flight.
Yeah man, my viewers and subscribers, what go a blessed and wonderful Monday morning to each and every person out there tuning into On The Spot News Media. Now my peeps, I don't know how we do it over on this side each and every morning. We have to give thanks and praise to the Most High Creator for the preservation of life, because life is indeed the greatest. So in the morning, my peeps, I have a few stories to share with you, the regular members of Chan Public and also members of the diaspora. So please like the video, share the video, watch the entire vlog so you can get a full understanding and a better appreciation of everything we are going in Jamaica. So watch this now, my peeps. We're going to kick it off with a full rundown of happenings over the weekend from Saturday into Monday this morning. Then of course we're going to get into the main stories right after. Now the knockings and clappings then were going from Saturday to Sunday are as follows. In the St. Andrews South Division in the community of Olympic Gardens, a fatal knockings and clappings and a knockings and clappings with intent to take the life of a person took place over there on Saturday. The person that lost his life is said to be identified as Milton Davis. It is said that he was taken out in a hail of bullets by criminal elements, whilst a 41-year-old female get caught up and is seriously injured right now. Now detectives are presently investigating. The next fatal knockings and clappings go on over there in Old Harbour, St. Catherine, in a community known as Sukuba Gardens. Now the person who end up lose 3 points has since been identified as Omar Perry. Said that he was a labourer of the Church Lane area in Sukuba Gardens. Now the police stated that his body was found in a gully with multiple corner wounds all over the upper body and head. He was however transported to the hospital, not in a bid to save his life, but to be officially pronounced you know what. The St. Catherine South Police is presently investigating. The next fatal knockings and clappings go on in a Witton in Deans Valley in Westmoreland, where a man identified as Dwight Natham, 46 years old, truck driver of Thompson Lane in Waterworks, end up lose 3 points along the roadway in the parish. I spoke briefly on his knockings and clappings that was rumored as if he would have taken his own life. On the Spot News Media stated clearly that it was definitely not so. Now the next fatal knockings and clappings took place in the St. Andrews Central Police Division, a section identified as Spencer James Drive. Now an unidentified male was taken out in a hail of bullets along the roadway by unknown assailants. The St. Andrew Central Police is presently investigating. So the next set of knockings and clappings now, my peeps, go on between Sunday to Monday morning. Yeah, man. Now the first knockings and clappings go on yesterday in the Kingston Western Police Division, where a double fatal knockings and clappings go on in the community of Craigtown. Now the 2 men who end up lose them 3 points are men who I would consider to be elders, as in their age is of such a certain number. Now the first man has since been identified as Carlisle Lyons, otherwise known as Jungle Youth, 64 years of age. Said to be a bar operator from 7 Union Street, Kingston, CSO, and another elder only identified by his alias as Cow. Both men were taken out in a hail of bullets whilst at the bar. It is said that both men were at the bar operated by Lyons, when several men armed with handguns and rifles entered the bar and opened gunfire, hitting them multiple times. They were pronounced you know what upon arrival at the Kingston Public Hospital. Now our next fatal knockings and clappings go on in the Kingston Western Police Division, this time along Browns Lane off Maxfield Avenue. Now the man will end up lose 3 points has since been identified as Richard Clark, but more popularly known in the streets as Rado, said to be 44 years old. Now the report is that he was at home when he heard a loud banging on his door with persons shouting, "Police, open up." As soon as he opened the door, he was greeted with gunfire, leaving him lifeless. Same place, on the spot. He was, however, transported to the Kingston Public Hospital, not in a bid to save his life, but to be officially pronounced you know what. Now, the police stated that the criminal elements escaped in the area on foot. Now, the next fatal knockings and clappings took place in the St. Mary Police Division, in a section of St. Mary known as Castleton. Yes, that famous hotspot known as Castleton. Hotspot in the terms of the Castleton Gardens. Everybody always love to go to the river there, if you just chill and bill after a long work week. So the man will end up lose 3 points has since been identified as Romain Find Later. But them never really find Romain later, they found him sooner. He's said to be 27 years old. Another male was also conned up and seriously injured, said to be 44 years old. And also the 4-year-old child of Romain Find Later, identified as Roman Find Later. Now it is said that they were transported to the Castleton police station in a vehicle, and they were all rushed to the Anatomy Hospital where Romain Find Later was pronounced you know what. Now the thing about these fatal knockings and clappings is that they are all from Portmore and Spanish Town addresses. So it seemed as if they were trailed and conned up, and sad to say, Romain Find Later end up lose 3 points in the Gideon. So the Castleton police is presently investigating. Now the next fatal knockings and clappings going over there in the parish of St. James, right along Barnett Street near the Cornwall College vicinity, the university campus. Now an unidentified male was taken out in a hail of bullets by unknown assailants. The Montego Bay Police CIB is presently investigating. Now another fatal knockings and clappings going over there in Negril, Westmoreland, a place known as Sheffield along Dawes Lane. Now an unidentified male was taken out in a hail of bullets by unknown assailants along Dawes Lane in Negril, Westmoreland. And last but most definitely, not the least, and we're going to talk about this one extensively also, where the body of a man identified as Winzel Facey, 45 years old, of Cotton Tree in Ulster Spring in Trelawney, was found lifeless in bushes. But the thing about theme knockings and clappings, a criminal element that was on bail for fatal knockings and clappings, was taken into custody by the police for that one. Yeah, man. So right now we're going to move on over into the main stories. Listen. Now we're going to start it off with the man that was found in bushes, lifeless in Trelawney, who has since been identified as 45-year-old Winzel Facey, said to be of Dutchil in Trelawney. It is said that he is mentally ill. Now he was reported missing by residents who went searching for him and discovered his body lifeless in bushes. A St. Mary criminal element who was on bail in relation to a fatal knockings and clappings charge has been taken into custody by the Ulster Spring Police in relation to the fatality of Mr. Facey. Now the police says that A condition of the suspect's bail was that he should reside outside of his parish, and he was therefore living in Dutch Hill. President of the Trelawney Magistrate Association, Ken Grant, expressed shock at Face's loss of life. He stated, and I quote, "I am shocked and saddened by the death of Winzy. He was never a troubled person, never troubled anyone, as a matter of fact. For an animal to come and take his life, it breaks my heart." End quote. Now, Mr. Lay Magistrate, your fellow brother as a judge gave that animal that you made reference to bail to come into your parish and committed that atrocious act. Really sad indeed. Now for the main story. We are going to zero in upon that double fatal knockings and clappings that were going over Craigtown yesterday. Now the knockings and clappings go on sometime around 2 p.m. in the day. It took place at a bar located at the corner of Clarence Road and Union Street in Craigtown. Now this is the bar presently on your screen. So right here, so that double fatal knockings and clappings that go on. Now the man will end up losing 3 points has since been identified as Carlisle Lyons. Note the last name, Lyons. A very famous and popular name in the Craigtown space. So from you hear the name Lyons, you know say that person is related to Bigger and also Guess, 2 reputed criminals from Craigtown. And also another man identified as Coe. But before we get into that, Carlisle Lyons is known as Jungle Youth in the streets. He is 64 years old and he operated the bar that he lost his life in. The deceased man is also in his 60s. That's the other man identified as Coe. So a 2 big man them end up lose them 3 points. Now it is said that both men were in the bar operated by Lyons when they were pounced upon by criminal elements heavily armed with guns. It is said that they opened fire, hitting both men multiple times all over their bodies, leaving them lifeless. Coe was transported to the KPH by persons coming onto the scene and try to assist. However, Carlisle Lyons, Jungle Youth, was assisted to the KPH by the police. Both men were pronounced dead upon arrival. Now, this warrior take a turn where I hope it did not take that turn, but it is what it is. It is exactly where it is. And it's a family war. Now, the reputed gang leader who is living in the diaspora known as RickDik, his families are also related to Bigger and Guess set of families. For those who have been following On The Spot News Media for quite some time would have seen where I covered vlogs where RickDik lost a son in that war. And Guess lost some family members in that war. If you remember when I covered a vlog where 2 men get caught up, lose them 3 points, 2 of them named Lyons also. Those 2 were the sons of the now deceased man Carlisle Lyons. So the family war I get really grimy. Now before that double knockings and clappings there, you know, a next man end up lose 3 points, who is said to be related to RickDik also. He's known as Teddy Bond. Now everybody's supposed to know what go on where that is concerned, because that knockings and clappings go on before that double fatal knockings and clappings here. So basically it is a reprisal for the knockings and clappings of RickDik's cousin known as Teddy Bond. Now for those who don't know who is RickDik, just go type him in and type On The Spot News Media beside it. You will see vlogs that I did about him. And if you don't know who name guess and also his father, Bigger, type in them name on YouTube and just type On The Spot News Media beside it and you will see videos that I covered about them also. Now this warrior is a long-standing war over the control and reigns of Craigtown. Now for those who know Craigtown, me not really see what them a war for in a Craigtown. Whole heap of boardhouse and zinc fences and gullies and trenches. 1 and 2 decent house in there, sky. I don't know people grow up, migrate, work hard, fix up them people, place, whatever the case may be. But for the most part, Craigtown is a hardcore garrison. But I guess we all know that crime pays and whomever control these garrisons are politically loved and they gain from their political affiliations. So I guess that's why they seek to have control over these areas. Now, the knockings and clappings of Teddy Bond. Teddy Bond in his 60s, a big man too. But for some reason, he always find himself or get himself involved in a gunman business for a big man. Wholly and solely because he's related to RickDik, of course. Now the man them decide say, them a go dirt him. And RickDik decide say, no, I can't dirt my family and feel like it's a phone of family. Now go ban them belly and ball too. Hence the reason why the 2 elders, them end up lose them 3 pints yesterday. Now this thing here, I go continue over and over again because RickDik have family on the opposing side. And guess them have family all both and also on the opposing side. They were all one, As me say, friends and families now turn enemies over the control of Craigtown. Now you have a brother in a Craigtown where I basically the second in command to RickDik on the ground. I made mention of him in recent vlogs also. A brother with them call Holmes in the place. So Holmes are the man where definitely anything for deal with on the ground for RickDik. Him a go be the man for deal with all of that. So more than likely the knockings and clappings the Holmes definitely know about it. Me nah go see a him plan and orchestrate it. But no can't clap. Panda levels there. And him not aware of it. And even if he was not aware of it, he had to be made aware of it after and who carry out the knockings and clappings there. So if the police them need to know who do what, link Holmes. Holmes can definitely point to know in the right direction. Now on the Spot News Media get to understand say a criminal element known as Kibo, him come from down the road. So them use Kibo and him bring 2 knockis and clappis from Jungle Top that I made mention of already in recent vlogs for carry out the dirt pan Carlisle, Lions and Cow. Now the knockis and clappis them that me I talk about is presently on your screen. Now this criminal element here is known as Kibo. Him come from the down the road faction in a Craigtown. And him use them 2 criminal elements here from over top jungler youth known as Roops and AJ. Roops is to the left of the screen and AJ is to the right of the screen. So we get to understand say them criminal elements there carry out the dirt pan Carlisle Lions, aka Jungle Youth, and the brother with them call Cow. So right now, the entire jungle we are talking about, Craigtown, Jonestown, Top Jungle, the whole place in a topsy-turvy. When I know one thing is the other. Benbow Street also included. So the whole area there is infested with criminal elements and gang violence. And the police most definitely need to do something urgently about it. The political representatives most definitely not help the situation, but they're only making matters worse. As the councillor herself, in my view, is most definitely a cause for concern. Yeah, man. So right now, the knockings and clappings in Craigtown, Jonestown, Top Jungle, Benbow Street, and Havana, to a lesser extent, will most definitely continue. Yeah, man. So anyway, my peeps, remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned to On The Spot News Media as I continue to bring you fresh news and updates in subsequent newscasts. On The Spot News Media. Yeah, man.